I don't know what just happened, but hey y'all. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How y'all doing? How is everybody? Look at me with my bonnet all in here. Y'all can tell I be in here just bullshitting. Well, I'm supposed to be working. But how is everybody? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Let me know. Welcome, you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope that everybody is having an amazing day. I hope that everybody is having an amazing day. Hey, love. How you doing? Thank you. Y'all, if y'all are coming in, if y'all are new, make sure that y'all drop. Thank you, love. How you doing? Behind closed door sessions with trauma. Okay. All right. That's a mouthful. But you guys, if you are new to this page, make sure that y'all drop y'all names down in the comments so that we can address you properly. If we are meeting for the first time, I am Yinka, the owner and creator of My Snatch Shop, and I help women balance their hormones naturally. On this channel, we talk about everything divine feminine energy, spirituality, and holistic healing with the womb space. So if that is something that you are interested in, make sure y'all hit the subscription button, give me a thumbs up if you like this content, and share it with your homies. You know, we can all use a little bit of healing, so don't be stingy with the gems. Don't be stingy with the gems. So tonight we are going to be talking about first of all, shout out to my student Omi. Shout out, that's my favorite student. Shout out to Omi. She was shadowing me when we just did our last 30-day hormone challenge, which we are launching tomorrow, you guys. So if y'all are not familiar with my hormone challenge, I help women balance their hormones naturally in 90 days. But y'all convinced me to do we did like a 30-day beta test, because I typically do the 90-day challenge with one-on-ones, but now we are turning it into a group setting. So we did a beta test back in November. Oops, sorry y'all. We did a beta test back in November for just 30 days with the group setting, doing the same thing for the group setting, and it turned out amazing. So we are now doing that 90 days, and we're launching that tomorrow. So you guys will be able to I've seen some people today booking their consultations. If you click the link in my bio or down in my description, is both of the descriptions, you'll be able to find them. I'll leave them down in the description as well. You'll be able to register for it and sign up for a consultation to make sure that we are a good fit, because this is an investment and it is an intense program. But I work with people who are, ready to get on their healing journey, who their healing is non-negotiable. They are ready to make the change that they desire to have and balance their hormones. So if that is something that you are interested in, the link is already there. You guys can go ahead and register for it now. Just a little shush. But I will not be publicly launching it until tomorrow. But, it's still available right now. I did it earlier this week. So yes, we have that coming out tomorrow. And they convinced me with the 30-day challenge, being that the 90-day challenge is a bigger investment. They convinced me to do another 30-day within the 90 days. So we'll have the 30-day people and the 90-day people starting at the same time, which will be the first week of February. But 30 days, that will be the end of your trial or your program. And then going forward, you can, the people who have in the 90 days, they will be able to do it all the way to the end. And at the end of the 90 program, for everybody who makes it to the end, all of my survivors who make it to the end of boot camp, we are going to go on a luxury retreat. They've been saying that they wanted to go, out of the country, but we're still trying to figure that out to see exactly. I think Dominican Republic is what people was agreeing on. I want to go to Costa Rica, but we're still narrowing that out. But we are going to go on a luxury retreat where we are going to actually meet up, because a lot of this is virtual, but we're going to meet up with the same girls that you guys have been healing with for 90 days. We're going to all meet up together and do some final releasing, some final healing all together, and just celebrating your accomplishment for being able to be consistent for something for 90 days and getting the results that you want. So I look forward for that for you guys. Y'all know it's tax season coming up, so make sure that y'all are putting your money where it needs to go as far as investing in yourself and not just fucking over your money yet another check. Okay, so make sure that you are investing in yourself. And I know for myself, I can brag on my students, my clients, everybody who goes through my even though they're coming through my program to balance their hormones, they always leave in a bigger bag, or they always leave, with their divine partner, or just going into their soft life era. That's not intentional on my behalf. The only intention that I set is that you come into your feminine energy, but as a result of you being in your feminine energy and healing your womb trauma, you just automatically become magnetic to the things that you desire in life. So make sure that y'all not missing out on that. The link is in the description, like I said. But speaking of my student Omi, she was shadowing me in the last cohort in a 30-day challenge, and I was getting her on some of the days to do the trainings, because we meet 3 times a week, y'all. 3 times a week. We got to make sure that y'all getting them results. So we meet 3 times a week, and I was letting her step in for me on Thursdays, and she did a training on, she called it the power of the pivot. So I brought those notes out tonight. I was going through my notes, because a lot of times either I'm coming off the dome when I'm talking to you guys live, or I'm talking about something that I've already learned. So I just go back in my notes and I'm like, okay, let's talk about this tonight, however it's aligned. So I was going through my notes, and the power of the pivot is what came up. So we're going to discuss those notes. We're going to go through this transition together, because a lot of you guys, it's the beginning of the year. A lot of you guys are, having your New Year's resolution. A lot of you guys were ending your shadow phase, or you're still in the midst of your shadow phase, where you are learning how to become comfortable in your new body, because you have transformed your identity, or you are ascending. Essentially, you are ascending into a new dimension. You are in a new paradigm. You're doing a paradigm shift, or what we call a quantum leap. So you are in this kind of void period where you are elevating, or you are elevating, or you are coming into a new version of yourself. And a lot of people get scared in this void spaces, because they don't know who they are. They don't know exactly what they're transitioning into. They don't know what they like. They don't know what they should be doing. And sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes people do start to fall back to comfort zones. Like, it gets a little too scary, because it's like, what's next? I don't even know what I like. I cut off all my friends. I've changed everything about me. I don't even know what I like anymore. So it gets scary to not know. A lot of people are scared of the unknown, and that's natural. So I want to help you guys to make a transition, or how you're transitioning. I want to give you guys insight on things that I personally do, things that Omi, suggested in this training. I just want to give you guys some helpful insight. That is the intention of this video, so that you guys can learn how to balance in the middle of your pivot, in the middle of your transition. So the first thing is procrastination. So a lot of times we procrastinate on things that we should be doing. And I always say, it's always something to be done. It's always something to be done. So anytime you are idle, anytime where you are not doing anything at all, and you start to procrastinate, or you have something to do and you're being lazy, or you're not doing it, you're not getting up at a certain time, you're not accomplishing your goals, you just feel stuck, you feel like you don't know which direction to go. A lot of times that is a result of procrastination. And 19 Keys always says, procrastination is the abortion clinic of ideas. So when you are in this void space, when you are in this space of uncertainty, I should say, when you're going through this stage, you usually know what you're supposed to be doing. You usually know, like, what is the end goal, or why did I even transform into this identity? What was my goal of transitioning into this identity? You usually know, but we say that we're not clear. We say that we don't know what direction to go, because a lot of times we are procrastinating because there is fear of actually executing on what you're supposed to be doing. There's a fear of success. There's a fear of failure. There's a fear of, what if I'm not good enough? What if I do something wrong? And all of that stems from self-doubt. So I was just talking to, my students last night in the Rebirth Society. Shout out to the Rebirth Society, all of my students down there in that community. But when it came to the video that we were doing last night, or the training we were doing last night, I was saying to them, self-doubt is something that self-doubt is something that's protecting you. It's okay to be doubtful, because self-doubt is something that is a defense mechanism. Essentially, it's a defense mechanism, because you've been hurt before, you've been let down before, you've been disappointed before. So what your brain does is it tries to save you or stop you from having that experience again, because it's not something that you like. However, what we have to do when we are going through our shadow work, when we are reflecting on self, when we are trying to figure out what am I supposed to be doing in this section, when you have those underlying self-doubt thoughts and things like that, you need to be going back and reflecting on, okay, what is it that I'm afraid of? Is this something that, and then understanding what fear is, because fear doesn't exist. So when you are going through this process, you want to make sure that you're asking yourself, like, what exactly am I afraid of? Am I afraid of not succeeding? Do I think I'm not qualified to do it? Do I think I'm not smart enough? Do I think I don't have enough funds for it? Like, what is really stopping me from doing this? What is on the other side of this success that is scaring me so much that I am pretty much putting on a delay because I don't want those results? Because essentially you don't want those results. You can't say like, oh, I'm hungry for this money. I'm hungry for this money. And then every single day you waking up at 1 or 2 o'clock in the evening, you're not doing nothing. You're not posting anything business related on your social media pages. Like you're saying this with your mouth, but your actions are showing that is not what you really want. So when you are looking at what you are procrastinating at, like what exactly is the harm or the fear attached to whatever you are trying to overcome, or the desired results that you want? What is the fear attached to actually achieving that? Because you always know exactly what you're supposed to be doing. We just act like we don't know, because it's easier to say that we don't know. It's easier to say that I feel stagnant or whatever. It's easier to say that versus looking yourself in the mirror and saying, what am I afraid of? And I'm glad we're talking about this right now, because we do have a full moon coming up tomorrow. And I want you guys to be fully equipped to release. And if I'm not mistaken, this full moon is in Cancer. And this is a great time for you. Cancer is a water sign. Cancer deals with the emotions and things like this. So this is a good time for you to be releasing emotions that do not serve you. And when I say emotions that do not serve you, I'm really talking about fear. I'm really talking about grief and things like that. Like, what exactly are you holding on to? What type of hurt, what type of disappointment are you holding on to that you are now attaching to the goal that you want to achieve? Because once you release that, you'll no longer be afraid to reach that goal. And even as I'm saying that, Spirit is saying, like, a lot of you guys have not been meditating. If you are somebody who has started meditating, or you starting to do the work, some of you guys have stopped doing the things that you have stopped doing the things that have gotten you to the point of where you are in this moment, where the point of where you started to ascend. You have stopped doing those things. So as you have stopped doing those things, it's like you're still subconsciously trying not to bring those things in anymore. It's one thing to just rest until you bring something into fruition, but it's another thing to stop doing the work because you think that, okay, I'm getting a little too close and now I'm getting nervous. I'm getting a little too close and now I don't know if I can handle it. Do I really want this? Is this really too much? Am I really prepared for this? You're starting to sabotage it like you always do. So Spirit is like, get back into doing the practices that you are doing to get to where you are. Like, why would you stop your package from coming midway? You canceling your order when it's already being delivered to you. Let's not do that. Let's start back. Let's go back to the place that we were when we actually wanted. And a good way to do this is going back to where you were. Take yourself back to where you were a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and look at where you come from and ask yourself, is this where I want to go back to? Or do I want better for myself? Is this this a place where I want to thrive? Is this a place where I feel comfortable that I want to be in? Because you know the results of the things that you used to do, because there was the results that you've always had. You don't know the results on the other side. You don't know how to handle 6 and 7 figures, because if you've never had it before, you don't know if you can handle it or not. But you don't like how it feels when you ain't got but $20 in your bank account. You don't like how it feels when you getting swiping your cards and it's insufficient funds. You don't like how that feels. So how would you feel if Spirit says, okay, well, if you don't want this, let's go back to where you were. You wouldn't like that. So let's go back and look and reflect and say, hey, I've come this far. Why would I turn back around now? Why would I be scared now? I'm almost at the finish line. Why would I be scared now? So if you are, hold on. So when I was going through, and again, we were doing this during the 30 day hormone challenge. So during this time, I had one of my clients was saying that she felt bored. Like, it's like when she was going through it, she was seeing the results. What I was just telling you guys, she said she was seeing the results. She said she felt better. She said her relationships were working better. She was feeling more confident in the way that she handled her emotions. Like, everything felt better. Everything felt like it was moving forward for her, right? So as she was saying that, she also said, but I just don't feel like this is going to be something that is sustainable long term. And as she said that, I was glad that she said it. I was glad that she brought it up, because that lets me know a lot of people feel like that. But I'm glad that she did say it. A lot of people, we start things and we feel like, okay, well, I did this, but is this really sustainable? You know, I've cut out eating meat. I'm eating more clean, but do I really see myself doing this for the rest of my life? I stopped smoking and I stopped drinking. But do I really see myself not doing that ever again in my life? Like, a lot of you guys are looking so far in the future that you are psyching yourself out as if you cannot do it. So she said, I feel bored sometimes, like when I'm not drinking, or, when, my kids are in there frying some chicken up and I'm out here juicing. Like, I found myself being bored. I found myself being stagnant. Again, attaching that to procrastination. She said, I found myself being bored and feeling like, I like the results right now, but I don't think I could do this long term. So what I had said to what I told her in that moment, I said, you have to prepare yourself for this transition. You have to prepare yourself for this ascension. You have to prepare yourself for it. Nobody is telling you to worry about a month from now. Nobody's telling you to worry about 3 months from now, a year from now. All I'm saying to worry about is today. Worry about the minute and the breath that you're breathing in this moment on this day, because tomorrow is not promised. Tomorrow doesn't even exist. The only thing you are living for is today. The past doesn't matter and the future doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is today and in this moment. Make a conscious decision today and don't worry about the future, because that's where anxiety comes from. That's where fear comes from. Where you're worried about things that have not yet come yet. So if we are worried about right now and we are focusing on right now, when you say that you are bored, are you actually bored, or are you really unfulfilled? Are you actually bored? Are you actually procrastinating because you just feel bored, or you don't have any energy for it? Or are you really not feeling fulfilled? Are you really avoiding doing the work? Are you really avoiding the progress that needs to be done? Because there's always something to be done. And that's one thing about entrepreneurs. Not that all of you guys are entrepreneurs, but one thing about entrepreneurs is it's always something to be done. We're always on the clock. It's always something to be done. We might take a break. We might, go get some lunch. We might take a nap. We might, sit down and watch a movie every now and then, but there is always something to be done. We don't have weekends. We don't have days off. Hey, Kia Boo. Like, we don't have days off. We don't have any time off to do anything. We take time off to do other things, to exercise other things like our spiritual development, our physical development, and things like that. But there is never a time off as entrepreneurs. The same thing goes for your spiritual journey. You don't get to take vacations from your spirituality, because you are your spirituality. You don't get to take a month off from doing protection work and then get mad when some fuck shit happens to you because your back door was a little dusty and you left your back door open. You don't get to take a break from spirituality, because it should be a part of your essence. So when you say that you are bored, when you are procrastinating, what is it that you are avoiding? It's not that you are tired. It's not that you got other stuff to do, or you can't focus, or none of that other stuff. And even if that is the case, let's assess that. Let's assess that. What exactly is stopping you from feeling motivated? What exactly, what have you done today that would help you to be more motivated? What time did you wake up? What time did you go to sleep? When you woke up, what was the first thing that you do? Did you move your body? Did you drink some water? Did you eat some fruit? Or did you get up and get right on your phone? And then you're wondering why you have no energy. We can't take a break when it comes to our spiritual development. That is a everyday practice. When we stop for one, we can't do that. You can't afford to do that in your transition phase when you are ascending. You can't afford not to do that, because a lot of times we are still way farther back in our lower chakras or our lower energy vibrations more than we are in our higher vibrations. So you are still trying to fill your cup, that you have more of your higher thoughts and higher decisions. You still trying to fill that cup up. You might have gotten to a point where you 50-50 in the cup. Half the time you thinking you doing high vibrational things, half the time you doing lower vibrational things. But you want to get to a point where it's like 70% of the time, 80% of the time you choosing higher thoughts or higher behaviors versus your lower behaviors. And a lot of times we get at 50-50 and we start seeing things move in our life, and then we get comfortable. But baby, you just a decision away to relapsing all the way back. We have to make a conscious decision to be filling our cups every single day. So on the days where we don't feel like it, on the days where it's okay that you don't feel, a 100% every single day. Every day you're not going to feel like love and light. But on those days, it's not going to take you down enough for you to start back doing things that are not conducive to your wellness. Does that make sense? So like I use myself as an example. For me, I've been vegan for a little over 3 years. And so as I'm going through the motions, as I'm going through, me having my emotional habits, or, I get into the time where, I have a better relationship with food in general, but it's time where I emotionally eat. Ashay, you said I said it's times I emotionally eat. So I was just talking about that on another live. Like these past couple of weeks, like I've been eating a lot of sugary stuff. Like I've been cooking candy yams. I, have had like my oatmeal. I've been putting brown sugar in, and I usually don't put nothing but a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of nutmeg with some almond milk in my oatmeal, and that be it. But I've been putting a lot of brown sugar in it. I've been putting sugar in everything. I've been had some sweet potatoes and pouring a little honey in it. Like I made some cornbread, threw a whole lot of honey in it. I just been craving sugar, and that's okay, because I know that my cravings are not like, I still have an understanding of that I can fast when I need to fast, but I don't deprive myself of anything. If I'm feeling like I need sugar, I'm going to indulge in that, and then I'm going to assess that as I'm doing it. A lot of people think when they're on a awakening, or when they're on that conscious journey, they feel like that means they have to be perfect. That means they have to, walk on a straight and narrow. That's not what it means to be woke. That's not what it means to be conscious. What it means is, if I fuck up, if I choose, I know I ain't supposed to be eating that sugar. I know I'm not supposed to be eating this sugar and eating these sweets back to back like that. I know I'm not. But at the same time, I can identify that with something spiritual that's going on with me. What's going on with me that I don't feel fulfilled? What's going on with me where I feel like, whatever emotional stagnant energy that I have attached to my sugar cravings. That's what I know how to assess that. So it's not that I deprive myself of anything. I just have to analyze, why exactly am I craving this sugar? I'm not avoiding like, oh well, it's just that I can eat whatever I want to eat. Don't nobody like getting defensive over it. It is what it is. It is what it is. Like, and sometimes we feel like when we're going on this journey, because we're still thinking about what other people are saying to me, saying about you, still thinking about how other people look at you. Like, y'all, we gotta still get comfortable. And I'm still editing the video, but I'll post it later on tonight or first thing in the morning. But as far as how to be more magnified, how to be more magnetic on this journey in your feminine energy, how to be more magnetic so that good things can come to you. And it starts with not giving a fuck what other people gotta say about you. Not trying to be so politically correct, not trying to be a people pleaser, doing what makes you feel good and doing it unapologetically. That's how you be more magnetic. When you walking in a room, you're not worried about, am I overdressed? Am I overdressed or am I underdressed? Bitch, I'm dressed. And when I come in a room, if all y'all look like y'all just got from the gym and I look like I'm about to go to a ballroom dance, so be it. I'm going to take up space looking exactly how I am. If I come in a room and everybody else overdressed and I'm real casual, so be it. I felt comfortable, so I'm going to be comfortable in this space. We have to get into a point where we are confident in where we are and who we are on that Heavy on I am dressed. Yeah, I'm dressed. So yes, we have to learn how to come. We have to learn how to show up as our authentic self and take off the mask. Take off this fake ass version of us that we have been so conditioned to feel like this is the right way to show up. If I say that I'm vegan, Ashay, kids say I'm comfortable with me. Okay, so we have to get into a point where we are not moving and making moves with the concern of other people. Like, and I say that consciously because, I'm not talking about you being an asshole or not being considerate of other people. But and when it comes to what makes you happy, if I tell somebody that I'm vegan and then they go and they see me eat some honey. And mind you, y'all, that's how I know I've been on some crackhead shit, because I don't even eat honey. Like, I use honey topically, like as far as like if I got a burn, or not a burn, but like a scab or something, I'll use honey for that. And I'll cook with it sometimes, but I've been having honey in a lot of shit, and I don't really use honey as a sweetener. I would use like maybe maple syrup or date syrup or something like that as a sweetener, but I've been using honey. But some people, they be so vegan, they be so woke, like that honey is not vegan. How the fuck is honey not vegan? First of all, what animal is it coming from? It is not an animal product. It don't come from an animal. The bees make it. It's not coming from them. They make it. So it's not hurting anybody. Any animal there's no animal being harmed in the situation. And then again, what does that have to do with anything? And what you don't know the reason why I'm vegan? Who said I was vegan for the animals? Because I'm not. I'm not. I am not. I mean, God bless the animals. I love the animals, but they didn't have shit to do with my transition to being a vegan. That was just a bonus. Good for them. I'm sparing lives. Good for them. But who said that I was vegan for the animals? Who said that I cared about all that? How you know I'm just not worried about my health? How do you know that? And people don't know that, but they'll try to pin something on you or try to label you. I just got out of a meeting or a Zoom call, and I was going to be on there because they still going, but I was like, I got to go live. So I jumped out of there, but we were talking about with the Queen Poe in that community, in the wellness community. Shout out to the wellness community. But we was talking about the labels of being a witch versus being a root worker, or being a sorcerer versus a conjurer. And it was just like, I was glad to be learning all those different things, but I'm somebody who I don't really like labels that much. I use labels for lack of better words so that I can resonate with other people, or so that they can resonate with me, so they'll understand what I'm talking about. But a lot of times, I'm trying to find different words other than certain words, because people be like, oh, well, being vegan is not good either, because they think they associate vegan with eating the Beyond Burgers and stuff like that. I don't eat none of that bullshit. I eat a very eclectic diet, okay? I eat raw foods, and even if I'm not eating it raw, I'm cooking raw foods like I'm cooking things from scratch. It's not too many things that I eat that's processed. It's probably like 80, 85, 90% of the stuff that I eat is not processed whatsoever. Like, I had some spring wraps tonight. I made some spring rolls. That's the closest thing that you're going to see that's processed, and it's still rice paper. It's rice. So like I don't go into depth of trying to deprive myself of anything. I don't go into depth of trying to make everything seem so tight knit and be a part of a label, because I do whatever the fuck my spirit leads me to do. I don't do anything that is that makes sense to other people, because this is my journey. It don't gotta make sense to you. It don't gotta make sense to you. So what a part of going through this transition is being comfortable in your authentic self without having to have a label, without having to have people like, oh, well, I thought you said you was doing this. I am. And I'm doing this too. Oh, I thought you said you practice hoodoo. I do. And I read my Bible, because if you know anything about hoodoo, it stems from Christianity. But you got people who like, oh, you can't be a Christian and practice hoodoo. Most of y'all damn grannies are hoodoo practitioners. They just ain't calling it hoodoo. Okay? And so y'all, when we put all these labels on things and we make things like the term witch, because I was glad we did have that conversation. And I'm getting a little off track, y'all, but I'm going to come back to it. But I'm glad we were having that conversation, because I used to, identify as being a witch, because I just look at a witch as a wise woman. So, I that's what always been my interpretation of what a witch was, is a wise woman. So when I, back more into my spiritual journey, and I got a lot of more people like, well, I don't like the term witch, or you ain't no witch if you a black woman, because we ain't witch. That's some European white shit. Like, that's just for white women. That's some Wicca stuff. We not witches and blah, blah, blah. But when you look down at what a witch actually is, it's pretty much a conjurer. It's a woman who is wise enough, this tapped into the source, and can use elements and cannot use elements, and use as spiritual gifts. That's what a witch is. So at the end of the day, I still identify with being a witch. So when she was saying all that, I was like, you absolutely right. And she brought that back to my attention. Not that I'm still gonna go around, starting back to call myself a witch or anything like that, but I do identify with that. That is a part of my journey. Like, if somebody was to call me that, I would not be offended, because that is what I identified with for a very long time, because I have those abilities. So I say all that to say, you have to be comfortable in your own skin. That's a major part of transitioning in your ascension. When you start to elevate, you have to be comfortable standing 10 toes on the decisions that you have made. And that brings me to my next point. Experimenting with the choices that you have made. Experimenting. She said, when you are doing new things, when you have changed the different environments, say you change your eating habits, say you have changed like the things that you do for fun. You don't really like clubbing no more. You might like, going to the lake or something, going out to and having nice walks or whatever. You might like new things. Experimenting with the choices experimenting with the choices that you have made is what's going to help this transition help you go further as well, or make that transition easier for you. So if you are somebody who eats cleaner, or you want to start eating more healthier, you need to be juicing, and say you start your juicing you do a juice cleanse, you do a 10-day juice fast. Go and start to juice with different fruits, and see what those different fruits are like. Start playing with them. You ain't gonna get tired of I never get tired of pineapple ginger juice. I never will get tired of pineapple and ginger juice ever. That's gonna always be a staple in my juice collection. But when it comes to juicing, if you get tired of the same juice, switch it up. Start experimenting with different fruits. Stop buying your fruit from Walmart and go to an international market where you might got some passion fruit. You might got some different what is it called? Sepoya. I can't pronounce it, but it's like a brown. It's like the inside of it is like chocolate. But you have different fruits that you can experiment with that have different medicinal purposes to them. Go and experiment with different fruits so that you can try new things and see what works for you. Go and if you trying to use herbs and be more plant based when it comes to healing, so that you can get off of allopathic drugs. I need you to go and buy you some herbs and see, okay, well, now I can use this tea tree oil for a headache. I can use this peppermint oil. I can use this rubbing it on my temples instead of just popping an Advil. Go experiment with the choices that you have made. If you have chosen to be an alchemist, go and play with those herbs. Go and play with those fruits. Go and play with your different meals that you want to cook. Like, you don't gotta use the same meals all the time. Like, y'all, I don't know. I feel like when people say, it's boring being vegan, you just don't know how to cook. Like, there's probably the same people who cook the same 5 dinners, what they call them, the Alfredo warriors. All you know how to do is make some spaghetti and Alfredo and a little bit of a pork chop or something every now and then. But you ain't no real cook. You ain't really cooking in the kitchen. You are not cooking in the kitchen, because if you were, the same way you season your chicken, the same way you season your steak, you will season your vegetables to the guys, and it will still slap, okay? It will still slap. So if y'all are not experimenting with the different choices that you are making, if you're not experimenting with different foods and looking up, I hate when people ask me, you got some recipes? No, but Google got some. Like, I look on Google for recipes all the time. Like, I love African food. Like, I love Nigerian food. Like, I love it. But they got to put fish in every damn thing. I only know one restaurant where they don't They make my own special order. But other than that, they gonna put some fish in it. They gonna put some fish in it. I'm not above palm oil. I'm not above palm oil. But when it comes to my own agouti soup, I gotta make my own agouti. I gotta make my own agouti because they gonna throw some smoked fish in there, and I don't want it. Yes, Pinterest is that girl too. Get into it, but do your own due diligence. And look, Lightning, can you stop shaking my ring light, please? Sorry, y'all. He's so nosy. Get down. But yeah, y'all have to do your own due diligence. Look up the stuff. Like, y'all want people, I don't got no recipes for nothing. You couldn't have used Google. You couldn't have looked for none because it's a plethora. And all you got to do, I always say, start with your favorite dishes. What is something you eating every week anyway? If you somebody who loves tacos, it's a plenty of vegan tacos out here with some jackfruit. It's a plenty. I make the what is it called? The Bureau tacos. I just made that a couple weeks ago. Y'all, it's literally a alternative to every single meal that you love. Get you some lion's mane and fry that baby up, and it tastes just like chicken. And I'm not saying that trying to be funny. I'm so serious. If you know how to season your flour, if you know how to season your flour, if you know how to season your food like your chicken regular, like throw a little. I don't fry food, but I ain't always been vegan. Okay. So if you know how to cook, all you got to do is go look up those same recipes. So I say that to say, you have to be, when the times that you are bored, during those times, make sure that you are actually practicing. You said paper bag, right? Get you a little grocery bag and how we do it? Toss them on up in there. Dip it up. Y'all don't know nothing about no cooking. Y'all don't know nothing about no cooking. And talking about food be bland. Bland where? Bland where? Y'all just have to train your taste buds. And then it starts with fixing your relationship with food anyway. Because yes, we want food that tastes amazing. We want food that's good. We want that. But you should not be focusing, the flavor and all of that should not be your main concern. Although the universe didn't miss when she made fruits. The universe did not miss, because I can eat a bowl of cantaloupe and that be my meal for a good portion of the day. We can eat some. It's a lot of fruit out here that's good, just how it is. It's a lot of vegetables that's good, just how it is. I don't eat a lot of cooked food. Well, I've been eating a lot more cooked food since my sister moved out here with me. But I don't have to eat. I don't have to cook something every day. I love raw food, and we need to get back in the habit of eating more raw food, because the more you cook your food, the harder it is. Right. The harder it is for you to digest your food. And that's also fasting is a very good thing. So when you start to fast, when you start to just experiment with the choices that you have made, y'all, we can go in all day about that. But experimenting with the choices that you have made will help you to transition. When you are spending more time, you trying to learn how to be an herbalist. You taking my medicine woman course, which I teach y'all every single day every single Thursday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time for free. That link is in my bio as well. So if you guys are trying to become, Yoni Steam practitioners, you're trying to heal your womb space naturally, you're trying to do all of those things naturally, why ain't you playing with some herbs? Why you not seeing what different herbs you could put together to Yoni Steam? How it's helping you with your whatever vaginal ailment you dealing with? Are you helping to alleviate your PMS pain? Because one thing about it is, when you're not practicing these things and making it a lifestyle, when it came, I can't remember. I want to say it was probably 2018. 2018, or maybe like midway through 2019 is the last time I've ever had allopathic drugs in my house. And I said, I'm gonna take this thing serious and I'm gonna let it all go. So I'm getting a better relationship with food. That's my weakness. I started the year off fasting only with fruits and vegetables. That's amazing. Keep it up. Congratulations. But it all makes sense. It all makes sense. I told myself, I can't remember 2018 or 19, but I told myself, like, if I'm taking it seriously, being an herbalist and things like that, I'm not buying any more painkillers. I'm not buying, because I wasn't somebody who took a lot of drugs. Like, well, at first I was. When on my period and things, I was the type that, I'm popping pills before I feel a cramp. Just because I know I'm on my period, I'll just take it around the clock. I ain't felt nothing, but I'm taking it around the clock so I don't feel nothing. That's some real crackhead shit. But I used to be like that. And so I got to a point where I was like, I want to take this seriously. And then until I don't have that as an option, until you take away that safety net, then you're going to continue to revert back to the old things. If I can find, it wasn't until I made my own antibiotic tincture that I said, okay, I'm not going to the doctor for no more, or for this no more. If, I got a toothache or something like that, because I used to do that all the time. You welcome, love. I used to do that all the time. Like, that's really the only time I would need an antibiotic, if my tooth is hurting me so bad because it's rotting and falling out my damn head. Y'all, my teeth are terrible. Don't judge me. But yeah, it wasn't until I made my own tincture that I now have an antibiotic in my cabinet that's the shelf life is forever, because I use Everclear. I don't be fooling with. I ain't got no babies in my house, so I use the real medicine that the shelf life be forever. It's gonna last at least 10 years. But I got real tinctures in my cabinet, and I don't have to go get no alternative medicine when I got the source in the house. So until I made that decision to start playing with more herbs, right now I'm looking to make I know how to make it. I'm being lazy, but making a salve for. I got a salve for like arthritis, a red root what is it? A red something root salve, and I got that. Somebody actually gifted that to me. But I'm making a salve specifically for fibroids, specifically for women with hormonal dysfunction, just so I can give it to my clients. I'm not gonna sell it. I don't sell a lot of stuff that I use, but I will be making it in my Rebirth Society so that they'll know how to make it, and I'll have it for my clients on standby. So when we start look at all the medicines that you have in your cabinet. If you want to get away from using the allopathic drugs, then go and look and see. You said that's beautiful. I gotta make something like that for my fibroid, myalgia, pain. Yes, you can definitely do that as well. And then getting on a Yoni steaming regimen. Are you on a regimen? Do you Yoni steam twice a week? That'll help with the pain, my love. It'll help with the pain, especially if you get you some mullein, some raspberry leaf, get you a little bit of nettle and put it up in there. Yes, girl. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Get rid of them fibroids. They ain't gotta be there long. They do not gotta be there long. But you need to. All of that comes with looking at your cabinet and looking at all the drugs that you have in there, and then asking yourself, what exactly what am I doing with this stuff, and how has it helped me? Is it really helping me, or is it just stabilizing my growth? Is it really stunting my growth? Is it just stopping me from being the best version of myself because it's a placebo effect? You said fibromyalgia is your body pain. Yeah, but it's in your uterus, right? What? Stop. Get down. Yes, it's in your uterus though. And where does that stem from? Where does that stem from? Let me look it up. Because it's all still stemming from the same thing, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe I'm tripping. But let me see. Where does fibromyalgia come from? Oh, it's throughout your whole body? Yeah, I see. I know that, but it's throughout your whole body. I still thought it was around your reproductive organs, and maybe I just associated that with just fibroids in that area. But that's my fault. Thank you for teaching me that. Yeah, it says fibromyalgia is a chronic disorder that causes pain and tenderness throughout the body, as well as fatigue and trouble sleeping. I mean, I knew that part. I just thought I didn't know it was all throughout the body. I thought it was in your reproductive organs. But it's stiffness and pain all over the body. Okay. But I want to know where it comes from. Of course, they don't know where it comes from. But I'm going to look that up. If you have fibromyalgia, One of the main symptoms is likely to be a widespread pain. This may be felt throughout your body, but could be worse in particular areas such as your back or neck. The pain is likely to be continuous all through. It may be better or more severe at different times. What triggers it? Physical stress or emotional stress is psychological. Possible triggers include a serious injury such as a car accident. Have you had any serious injuries? Have you had any serious, like, I'm gonna look more into that because I always just thought it was like I don't know. I just always thought it was like you said I drink teas and do a lot of natural things. I just gotta release. I gotta heal. Yeah, I always thought it was like chronic pains from like having fibroids or some type of cyst or developing that, like the early stages, I guess, of having a fibroids. I don't know why I always thought that, but I never actually looked it up because that's not my level of expertise. PTSD, life triggered mine, which caused me to start my shadow work. Yeah. So, yeah, of course they don't know what causes it, but just by me glancing over it, just my opinion from just me looking at that little bit of research, is a lot of it could be psychological or spiritual, mostly spiritual, which all ailments are spiritual first. But, right, I see that. I see that. But yeah, thank you for educating me on that. So now I gotta go look that up. But yeah, that's a good place to start as well. Like when you are whatever you know your ailments are, if you know that you are somebody who has a chronic body, like is that an internal thing? Like do you feel like it's like kind of like hot flashes and stuff? You said you definitely could talk more. I could educate on a lot on this. Yes. I would love to know more about it just because, I mean, I've never had anybody say anything to me about it. I've just always heard the term and thought it was associated with the same thing. But yeah, it is definitely spiritual because even as I'm saying it, it just sounds like a lot of psychosis because there's no physical or they're saying like trauma unless it's like a pinched nerve somewhere. That's why I asked, have you had any chronic pains or any serious injuries or anything like that, because the only way I can see something like that happening is if it's like chronic pain, like a pinched nerve or something. So I'm at the end of experiencing this. You are helping me heal. Ashe. 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 Y'all seen that, girl? Okay. Thank you, love. Y'all seen that girl on TikTok who was telling people how to say Ashe? She was like, it's Ashe. Ashe. So I'm trying to correct myself. And I got to get into my Yoruba. Right, I saw that too. It said that most laboratories won't be able to detect it. It's pretty much self-diagnosing. But I was thinking, about like kind of like heat flashes, like hot flashes, like women with menopause that they experience that. I was thinking like, is it kind of similar to that? Of course, it's not heat, but it's pain, but it's kind of like a overall body, like a sudden pain or shock, kind of like similar to that. Because I wouldn't even know where to begin. Again, I just want to be aware. That's not something that I'm going to provide a service for or anything, but I would like to just be aware of just, educating myself on as much as I can. So, all right, y'all, let's get back into the power of the pivot or learning how to ascend in this mixture. So, we talked about procrastination and understanding the underlying things. Understanding the underlying reasons. Okay, you said it's weak muscles, not hot flashes. Yeah, okay. Thank you for that, Kia. Thank you for sharing that. So when we talked about procrastination and the underlying causes of procrastination and why we procrastinate, we talk about experimenting with your boredom, like when you are bored or when you feel like you're stagnant, going back and doing the things that experimenting with the choices that you've made. Then I want to talk about the fear of uncertainty. So when you fear uncertainty, what you should be doing during this season. When you fear uncertainty, you should be embracing it. You shouldn't fear uncertainty. You should be embracing uncertainty, because what this means is that you are going into a new place. It's crazy how we celebrate birthdays, right? We celebrate going into a new year. We celebrate, things that we don't know nothing about. Oh, this is going to be my year. How the fuck you know? You could lose everything you got this year. You don't know that. But you're going into it optimistically, because we naturally just want good things to happen. So why don't we do that when we're taking risks with everything else? It's like for our birthdays. Oh, this going to be my birthday year. Like, this is my year, my Jordan year, my Jesus year. Like, whatever the case is, we're celebrating things and we don't know if it's going to be a good year or not. We don't know if this is going to be a good, we ready for the holidays. Like, well, y'all, we be ready for the holidays. Like, oh, this is going to be a good Christmas. We going to get together with family. How you know somebody not going to die on Christmas Eve? How you know that everybody not going to be arguing or some family secret going to come out? You don't know. You never know. When you wake up, you don't know if you're going to lose your life within the next hour after you wake up and take your first breath. You don't know that. So why do we go and why do we anticipate badness to happen when it comes to our dreams and our goals and things that we aspire to have? Why do we associate death with those ideas instead of looking at everything that we don't know as a blessing? Like, I don't know whether I'm going to wake up in the morning, but I anticipate that I'm going to wake up in the morning, and I'm going to go to sleep as if I'm going to wake up in the morning. So you should have the same mindset when it comes to your goals, and when it comes to you going into this new era of who you are becoming now, when you're figuring out this new version of yourself. Who cares that you don't know who you are, that you don't know what you like? You didn't know what you liked a year ago. You didn't know what you liked when you was 5 ain't the same thing you liked at 15, and what you liked at 15 ain't the same as 25 and going forward. So you never know what you're gonna like. You never know the new things that you're gonna learn, the new people that you're gonna meet. So we should always be looking at the unknown as something to celebrate. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm hopeful. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm excited. I'm grateful that I at least get the opportunity to even be able to say I made it. I'm grateful to even say I tried it. Even if I failed at it, at least I learned something. Okay, like, we have to get in a habit of embracing uncertainty, embracing adversity. Like, damn, I don't know how I'm gonna get out of this one, but I know I'm gonna get through it. You just totaled your car. You just got in a wreck and totaled your car completely. You don't know how you gonna get out of it. You don't know how you need transportation to go to work and all that. You don't know how you gonna get through it, but you did not die in that car accident. So there has to be another. This is not the end of your story. There has to be another chapter to this story. Just because we get detoured, it does not mean that's the end of the journey. But we tend to get we tend to get afraid when we're uncomfortable. We tend to think that things are going wrong because they're not going as we expected. That's why we have to go through life with no expectations and just be grateful that we get the chance to experience whatever that is. If it's something that we deem as good, then it is that is so. I personally, I go through life as with a fucking attitude. Like, I go through it like, whether it feels good or whether it doesn't feel good, I know that I'm well. I know that I am, whatever is happening to me, whatever I am experiencing is for my highest and greatest good, because I know that I do things with spirit leading me forward. Even if it doesn't feel good in that moment, I know that spirit is leading me forward. Even if I don't feel like, this is what I wanted. I wanted this guy, and this guy turned out to be an asshole. But I needed to experience this asshole. I need to experience this heartbreak. I need to experience this so that I can prepare myself for the person that is willing for me. The person that is divinely for me. We have to start looking at those things like that instead of being in this void place and saying, well, damn, like, I might as well, your ex hitting you back up because Mercury is in retrograde, so your ex coming back around and you just like, well, I ain't dealing with nobody. I might as well, you know damn well that fool ain't changed. You know he ain't changed. You know he on the same shit. You know ain't nothing good gonna come from you fucking with him again. But you gonna entertain it because you're comfortable with that. You're comfortable with, and then you're gonna go back and cry and say, I should have known better. You did know better. But you was also reacting. You are also reacting to you being afraid of the unknown. To you being afraid, what's going to happen if I actually ignore him and block him or never speak to him again? What's going to happen if I don't got him, being Roger in my corner? If I ain't got nobody to say, go home, Roger. If I ain't got nobody to say, why you texting me acting like somebody like you? That fool don't like you. He don't like you. He just know that you're still accessible. He know that he's still, as long as you responding back to him, he know that you're accessible. So we have to get in the mindset of understanding that nothing is certain. We don't have a certainty about anything. When you go to the grocery store, you don't know if it's gonna catch on fire or it's gonna get shot up. You never know. But you go in there anticipating, you don't expect the worst when you go into the grocery store. You don't expect to go out and total your car on the way to work. You don't expect anything. We never expect adversity. But at the same time, just as sure as the sun is going to rise, it's going to be a rainy day. So why do we let the few days that it's raining, why do we let that control our entire narrative for months at a time? Why do we let that control instead of embracing it? Like, dang, I be like, shit, it was about time for something to happen. I've been winning for too long. It's about time for a little bit of sprinkle. That's how I look at my adversities. I just laugh at them like, yeah, I mean, I had to slow down a little bit. I've been winning for a little minute. I had to slow down a little bit. Like, that's literally how I look at it. Because if you look at your bad days as something that's bad versus a lesson that you need to learn, and it's something that's supposed to be helping you to advance, you're gonna always be stuck. You're gonna always feel like you're not doing enough or feel like you're doing something wrong instead of just looking at it for what it is. This is where you are currently aligned. And if Spirit is trying to take you forward, it's going to be a lot of things that they're going to strip away from you that's going to take you out of your comfort zone. These last 2 months for me have been so transformative. When I say, when I released everything, I don't know what full moon it was, but I want to say it was in like October or November. But it was like a super moon, and it was a full moon, and I was just releasing something. I was just releasing so much. I remember I was at the lake, and I was just releasing so much. Like, I stayed out there for like 5 hours, and I was just out there getting it all out, crying, boo-hooing, and really coming to the divine humble as like, bro, I'm trying to get rid of everything that's not serving me. I was trying to get rid of all of it. And as I was going through it these last 2 months, Spirit has been debunking every single thing like that I thought I knew. And I have just been flowing with it. I've just been flowing with it. The first that came out of it, I met like the Queen Poe. I saw her on a live stream on TikTok. I came into the wellness community. I went and I done some research with that. Like, as far as like, it was a masterclass in the Patreon, and I took the masterclass. Spirit has started to take me back down the road of me being initiated. So I was preparing my mind for that. One of my students, the student that I'm talking about, that I'm stealing her notes right now and teaching y'all her notes. She is a high priestess, and I've been welcomed into her Ile. So all of these shifts have been coming, but even as I'm shifting with all of this, it's certain things that, my mentors are molding me with. It's certain perspectives that I had, like literally just, I want to say it was today, I was watching a video with the Queen Poe, and she was talking about, medicine, being a medicine woman. Thank you. Being a medicine woman, and being using allopathic drugs with holistic practices. And if y'all know me, I am 100% don't fuck with it. Like, I do not fuck with Western culture whatsoever. And I have been like that for a long time, to the point where I wasn't even taking doula clients who if your birth plan was in the hospital. I stopped taking clients who wanted to have birth in the hospital, because I advocate for home births, and I will always advocate for home births. That will never change. I'm going to always advocate for home births, because I look at, do I offer mentorship? I do, but it's a program. It's not like, yeah, it's a program, my mentorship program. But when it comes to when it comes to me, how I look at Western culture or how I look at the hospitals and drugs like that, that's alternative to me. That is not something that I can, like, I'm not against it. I'm not against it. I'm never going to say that I'm against it, like, you know, fuck technology, because that would be ignorant of me to say. But what I do feel like is a lot of times we have gotten so dependent on artificial intelligence that we forget that the herbal life is the source. So yes, our ancestors practiced that. Yes, our ancestors did what they could do with that. But what they couldn't do, and the technology that helps us today, like if you get shot, being able to have surgery, if you know, giving birth and, you know, your placenta rupture or stuff like that, like that is what the hospital is for. But the fact that so many women feel like they can't even function. They can't function. Like, I need to know, I need to get an ultrasound every 3 weeks. I need to get an ultrasound. I need to see what's going on with my baby. How do I know if my baby got this, my baby got that? Like, we taking away the natural essence of just having birth. As if we are not, like, to the point where women are scared to have birth at home. They're scared to have birth anywhere. I don't give a damn where I'm at. Wherever my water break or wherever, you know, it's time for me to have a baby. Like, I don't ever want to be in a point where I am traumatized to feel like, because I personally would be traumatized having to go to the hospital. Like, I wouldn't want to go unless it was a dire emergency, because I feel like that's what the hospital is for. That should not be standard care. And that's my opinion. And that's where I'm always going to go with that. However, looking at that video, I think it was earlier today or yesterday. I can't remember. But she was talking about, you know, we should be on the same page with wanting to have somebody mention like two-headed doctors. But I mean two-headed witches. But they was talking about like you being able to use medicine and you being able to use allopathic drugs. How to be a certified doctor, having a PhD, but also knowing the holistic approach as well. And she was like, that's what we should be striving to do. Imagine having a nurse in the hospital with you giving birth, and she can also do Reiki. Imagine having a doctor who's prescribing you antibiotics and a tincture, like their antibiotics and a tincture. Like, imagine that. That's the world that we should be striving for. And I was like, I 100% agree. I would love to have a world like that. I would love to live in a world where my doctors are black and they're not only just studying, because I have students who are nurses. I have students who, you know, in medicine women course, and they are nurses. They are OBGYNs. They've come through my course, and I tell them, yes, you are needed. You are needed, but you're only needed for my sake. I don't care if you're black or not. I care if you are learning their doctrine and also going back to your ancestral doctrine as well. So you're not just telling us all of their stuff and you're not remembering the holistic approach as well. Like that is the beautiful thing. So even as me looking at that, I've been having so many epiphanies. I've been having so many, mindset shifts of some things that I've been so adamant about, or things that I've felt so strongly about, has all been deconstructed. And Spirit is telling me just in these last couple of months to stay open-minded. The more that you stay open to change, the more I can elevate you. The more that you stay open to perspectives, the more that I can teach you at a short amount of time. You don't have to go through so much for me to teach you this. You don't have to go through so much for me to pretty much give you lessons and stuff like that. If you're just open to different perspectives, if you're open to different ideas. And I'm the type of person, I don't mind getting educated. I don't mind being challenged or nothing like that, because I'm a forever student. So I love to learn. It just got to make sense. It just got to make sense. So when you have somebody, shout out to the Queen Poe, but when you have somebody who knows how to teach and make it make sense, because I don't give no fucks about nobody's opinion. We can go back and forth about opinion all day. But when it makes sense and you can paint the picture of me of how this can be logical, how this can be helpful, then I can say, okay, well, I respect that. I see where you're going with that. So just for myself, and it's just me, but for myself, I've been feeling the shift of, going into a new era. Now I got to open my books back. I mean, I don't got to, but I'm opening my books back up to having hospital births, and that's going to be able to challenge me to be able to go in there and work my magic and be able to create my own space, which I do anyway, but creating my own space when I go in there, when it's just me and mama, it's just me, mama, and the baby, and we were just working with the divine. It don't matter who else in there, and being able to set the tone and do things like that. So, I've been telling y'all all last year, if y'all been following on TikTok, but we've been saying that for a while, like 2023 is about to be very, very pivotal for all of us, like for me and my tribe, because the more that I learn, the more that I experience, the more that I get to give to you guys. So as we talk about the power of the pivot, the next thing is keeping your goals in mode and keep your plans in sand. Keeping your goal, and we over an hour, but this gonna be my last my last key. We got a lot of more keys, but this gonna be my last key, as in how to help you guys to ascend gracefully into this next season in your life. Keeping your goals in mode and keeping your plans in sand. So what she meant by that? Said doctors should have to learn the holistic way as well. God, that would be beautiful. Exactly. And as she was saying it, like I'm a visual person. So when you saying something to me, if I can't paint the picture and the picture look beautiful to me, then I ain't really fucking with it, because it's just not in alignment. I'm a visual person, so as I see it, I know I can manifest it. So when I'm seeing stuff, my world already black. Okay. My world is already black. I don't see, I don't have a lot of other experiences, because I just manifest a lot of blackness. Like I just do. So I see my world already. It's just all of us anyway. But as she was saying that, she was like, imagine a world where, your doctor is giving, like, y'all know, I don't know if y'all know Dr. Buzzard, but Dr. Buzzard was like, that nigga, if you know anything about hoodoo, he was really like that medicine man, like that guy who can work with the roots and work with, the synthetic drugs as well. Like he could do both, and that was the real true root worker when it comes to the medicine and stuff like that. But imagine a world where we actually have doctors who are doing both, like where you can go in there and you can feel safe, because you have real options. You don't just have the fake options. And I guess that was my fear all of this time, where I go in there and I don't want people to be easy. I know how easily people are manipulated. So I guess that's what my whole fear was. I don't want you in there, because I've seen women going into the hospital. We got this whole plan, and we just we planning for a home birth. Something happens and we have to go to the hospital, and the whole plan go out of the window, because you in there. I'm not somebody who forces my clients to do anything, because I wouldn't be no better than a doctor. I allow you. I'm there to remind you of what your goals were, but at the end of the day, you are in control. I'm here to serve you. So I don't tell nobody what to do. I don't tell, you said you didn't want no epidural. You said you didn't want no like, I'm not here to do that. My job is to calm you down. My job is to relax you. My job is to support you in whatever decision that you make, and remind you of your birth plan. That is my job. So I've seen women go into, get into there, and they're coercing her so much that she ends up having it. Or, I can't step out the room for 10 seconds because they coming back in, and then next time I come back in, they planning a epidural or whatever the case is. Like, I've seen that happen. It ain't been a lot of times, but I've seen it happen. And I guess that was just always my fear. Like, I don't want you to be coerced into doing stuff that you don't essentially, like, you didn't go in there with the desire to do this. So that's me working on my doula skills and making sure that I have you I'm doing what I can to make you comfortable in this setting as well. But, that's me still working on me. That's me still growing. But back to, like I said, keeping your goals in a mode. What she meant by that was making sure that whatever your goal is, you're not being attached to the vehicle on how to get to that goal. So when you are ascending, what was your goal of actually cleaning up your diet? What was your goal of cutting these people off? What was your goal of studying this different skill set and, doing things differently and changing the DNA of your lineage. What was your goal in doing all of that? That should always be your main priority. That should always be your main focus. That should be set in stone. What is your overall goal here of you making these generational changes? What is your overall goal? And whatever that goal is, don't put whatever your plan is to get to that goal, make sure that is insane. Make sure that you're not getting attached to the plan, because a lot of times when we have a plan and the plan don't work out, we just get discouraged, like, oh, this is not for me. The plans, maybe not the first time, maybe not the second time, but the third time the plan don't work, then it's like, oh, I know it just can't be for me. That perseverance is one thing. That perseverance is a hell of a thing, because when it don't matter how many times you fail, what the goal is not failure. If you have your goal in the mold, if you have your goal at the forefront of your mind, it does not matter what vehicle you have to hop in to still get to that destination. If your car break down 20 times, you trying to drive across the country, your car run out of gas. Okay, let me get in the Uber. The Uber, the tire hop off. All right, that's cool. Let me get in this Lyft. You get in the Lyft and they get in a wreck or some shit. Let me get in the next car. But the destination does not change. The vehicle just changes. So you can't get attached to the driver. You can't get attached to the Lyft driver. You can't get attached to the vehicle. You gotta make the plan. Whatever the plan is for you. The plan is not for the divine. The divine said, I'm gonna give you what you desire, but you cannot be in control of how I give it to you. Your job is to have the desires of your heart, have the vision, have it and make it plain, make it big, and go all out with it. But where we fuck up at is because we start to look at the bigger picture, and then we make the plan to it, and then when the plan don't go the way we wanted to go, then it wasn't for me. Maybe that wasn't for me. If you want it, it's for you. And if it's not for you, then spirit will show you that it's not for you. But a lot of y'all just be giving up too quick. It's not that it's not for you, it's just you're giving up too quick. Maybe you got this big grand idea. You want to be this global brand. You want to be this master teacher. That's me. I want to be this master teacher. I want to be this global brand. I want to be, known all over the world. But you don't know how to turn off your aggressive tone, and you don't know how to turn off your soft tone. You don't know how to be open-minded. Which I do, but I'm learning to do it more quickly. It don't take me as long to decide, because I'm like, let me sit with that. But sometimes, like, spirit has been showing me lately, like, I don't have to hear it a whole bunch of times. I just got to hear it maybe once or twice, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But the real thing is, spirit is bringing me people who can make it make sense easily the first time. When it's something that I know I need to work on, spirit has been bringing it to me real clear and real easy. The first time. I've been having conversations with people and it's making it real clear, like, girl, you need to fix that. Okay. And I'm not combating it at all, because I know that I'm in a developmental stage right now. So I'm not combating it. I'm just like relearning myself. Oh, okay. The person that I aspire to be can't snap like that. The person that I aspire to be, she a little bit more graceful. The person that I aspire to be is a little bit more gentle with her presentation. Because everybody not going to be able to understand tough love. Everybody not going to be able to understand, like, my ebonics and stuff like that. Sometimes I'm going to have to use, politically correct terms. Or proper English, so to speak. But being able to be versatile, we are multidimensional beings. So not being attached to I can still be true to who I am, because at the end of the day, I'm very educated. So it's not outside of who I am to speak proper English. It's not outside of who I am to know how to display empathy, because I got a whole degree in psychology. I know how to communicate effectively. I'm an active listener. So it's not outside of who I am. I've learned those traits. I've understood those traits. So I know how to do it. The question is, am I practicing it? Am I experimenting with the choices that I've made? I say I want to be this big brand. So how am I moving if big brands know how to be versatile? If big brands know how to function with others and not just all black people, how am I maneuvering like that? And you apply that to however you apply that to your life. What goals do you have? What big goals do you have? What dreams do you have? And what vehicles are you currently taking to get to that point? What vehicles are you taking, and what vehicles have you attached yourself with? Because they're just vehicles. Sometimes when the car break down, we still trying to make it work. We sit up here waiting 4-5 hours for AAA instead of just hopping in the next taxi. What are you attaching yourself to? And what vehicle are you attaching yourself to? Okay, it didn't work. What skills did you learn? What did you learn from this process? How can you use that to go to the next process? How can you learn? Okay, maybe we could detour this way. That way got a lot of potholes. Let's detour over here. We gotta learn how to flow, how to be in a constant state of evolving, how not to be attached to emotions. Because all of that is really what it is. I had an emotional attachment to a negative emotional attachment to being in hospitals. I've never liked hospitals ever since I was a kid. I've never liked hospitals, and I was never somebody who grew up going to the doctor a lot. We didn't really go to the doctor ever, other than to get physicals and stuff. So I've always had a negative relationship with the hospital, always. But I'm healing past that, because I'm just like, okay, well, what your personal problems got to do with you serving women who actually need to go to the hospital, or you serving women who actually want to feel safe in the hospital, and you just supposed to be there? So I got to take my own emotions out of that, especially if I'm trying to serve at a high level. I got to take my emotions out of that. So I hope that helped you guys. Y'all got any questions before we cap up? Because we are definitely over an hour. But y'all got any questions, concerns, input to this conversation? Thank y'all so much for hanging with me tonight. I appreciate y'all for being here. And I look forward to talk. What's tomorrow? Friday. Yes, I got a training in a Rebirth Society, and then I'm going to come on in here tomorrow. We will be here tomorrow. That'll be our last live of the week. But yes, if y'all like this content, make sure y'all give it a thumbs up. If y'all are not subscribed, but y'all love this content, or y'all love this video and you want more like it, make sure that y'all subscribe and hit the notification bell, because we do go live every night, and I want you guys to join in on these important conversations. Other than that, I will see you guys tomorrow. Y'all be blessed and have an amazing day tomorrow. Bye. Y'all, my phone